Sorry guys, I'm here. I'm a little bit late. Got everything. We're good. We're good. We got it down now. You are coming with me, and we're gonna paint some shirts today. Get this thing around my hat. Make sure we're in the right spot. We're all kinds of crooked. All kinds of crooked. Okay. Let's just dive into some artwork. What am I doing? Doing some graffiti text. I keep on getting in trouble for using the word graffiti. All these real graffiti artists are getting on my case saying that this isn't graffiti art because I didn't do it on a building. It's not graffiti. So if someone wants to give me an alternative word to use for the style of artwork that it is, I'd be happy to throw that in there. But as far as I'm concerned, the only thing I can call this is graffiti art. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the chat. I'm painting STRAUSS. I recognize this name. This fellow customer has ordered several times recently. Very appreciative of him. I don't like, however, doing these dollar signs or these S's. It's kind of weird. This mic is probably way too quiet. Let me do this. And move it up there. That's better. Okay. The A also has a weird thing. An accent. Alright, now let's turn these into real lines. Spicy toothpaste. Welcome, friend. Hopefully, we have a better setup for audio today and not cutting out. I got my nice dedicated microphone. Everybody can see. Problem is there's a lot of fall off, so if I back up here and talk, you can't hear me very well at all. So I gotta stay right up close to the mic to talk, but hopefully that results in better sound quality. Also got music coming in straight from the output of the computer, so you get a better music quality for your listening pleasure. Need one of these. What is that? Facing this way. Hello everybody. I'm doing well today. I'm happy to be painting, and I'm really happy to be painting this sort of design today. I've been stuck the last couple days painting like commissions that I don't really want to paint, you know? And it's nice to be doing my style of artwork again. I saved them for us. I set them all together so that I could do them live with you guys instead of by myself. STRAUSS, it's there, dollar signs, and let's go ahead and do some outlines. How was your day, night? My day is good. It's 1:30 in the afternoon where I'm at. Ouch. Had some errands to do this morning, back at home finally. And doing what I love to do. Let's continue doing it. Before I hopped on here, I was watching Smo's new video. It just came out probably like 45 minutes now. I think he did really good on that video, and the editing on that video. It was just the interesting parts. It's like 10 minutes long. It's the perfect length. I learned a lot just by watching it, and I see that he's got a new Patreon page. So I'm supporting him on that Patreon page. He deserves it a whole lot. Smo is a big influence For me, not just because of his graffiti lettering, but because of his style and his helpfulness as a person. He's a good positive human being. So check him out, Smo Nova. Not just trying to plug him. I'm trying to say that he's genuinely a cool guy, and you'll learn from him about graffiti lettering a lot as well, if that's what you're looking for learning. He knows how to airbrush too, but that's not what he does primarily. I bought the Master airbrush, and what do I think of it? I have a Master. Over there. It's not a bad airbrush for beginners. It's something that you can definitely start out with and learn how to do the things. It doesn't have quite the quality as one of the professional brands do, and what that's going to result in is a little less precise lines, and after a while I think the materials are starting to break down a little bit. I mean, like the metal itself in the airbrush just, it's not machined as precisely, so you're going to have a little bit more finicky issues, but it's perfectly fine to start out on, especially for the price point. If anybody is looking into starting airbrushing, that's a good brush to start with, but it's not something that I would recommend you use a bunch of and like continue using, because you're always going to have little tiny issues with it. It's a little frustrating. Thank you from India. Have you seen the street art of imitating neon signs? Yes, I've seen all of that. The techniques used to do that, to answer your question, yes, I can do it with an airbrush. I would do it differently with an airbrush than you would with cans, and that's the same reason that I end up explaining this because of a lot of different things. It's airbrush paint is transparent. Notice I'm putting down these black outlines first, and then I'm going to cover them up with this blue and pink, and it's not going to cover the black, and the reason for that is airbrush paint is more transparent. It's not always completely opaque, and that neon sign effect relies on you layering light colors of paint on top of dark colors of paint, and that isn't as easy to do with transparent paint because you got to put a bunch of layers down. So if I were to do that effect, I would go about it a little differently. But yeah, it's possible. I would put down the white first and then put the layers of color around it. What airbrush do I use? I use a variety of airbrushes. I use the Omni 3000s by Badger is what most of these are. I've been accumulating these over the years, and I'm starting to use these no-name airbrushes by Spray Gunner. Both of them are about 80 bucks. Both of them are in the same class. I love them equally. They're great brushes. What paint do I use? Createx paint, usually. There's a lot of different brands of paint out there. Whatever you can get your hands on works just fine. I haven't had any paint that I just can't use. That's not true. I've had some paint that I can't use, but not because of the brand, it's because it froze. If you let your water-based paint freeze, it's no good to you anymore. Keep that in mind. Especially in these colder months coming up, at least for us Northern Hemisphere people. Don't let your paint freeze. Let's throw some teal down. More like a turquoise, really. What color is the best color to use? You mean the brand? Again, whatever. Createx is good. It's the most widely available. They're really consistent. There's lots of colors and different types of paint by Createx. You know, if you're painting t-shirts, you want to use a different paint than you would if you were painting on a motorcycle. So they have all of those different types of paint available, which is nice. But you can use anything. I've used regular craft acrylic paint before, and I've watered it down. That was not the best paint I've used, but it did work. Have I normally naturally have a steady hand, or is that developed? I've always had a little bit of a steady hand. Played a lot of video games as a kid, you know, but the control that you have with an airbrush with doing what I'm doing, it is something that I've developed over time. But you have this benefit over painting with a pencil in that you use your whole body to paint. When I'm painting, I'm using my shoulders and my waist and my torso and my arms and everything. I'm not using just my wrist to paint a line. When you use bigger muscles of your body, you can get smoother motion with it. So this is why airbrushing is so great. So that's why I love spray cans too, is because you have these huge strokes, which makes them really smooth. So notice as I'm painting, I'm never using my wrist. I'm always using as much of my body as you can. Keep on hitting this mic, I'm sorry. Is the No Name the equivalent of the Neo? No. They are made by the same company. The Iwata Neo and the No Name are produced by the same company. Iwata doesn't actually manufacture the Iwata Neos. It's a company, I don't know what the name of the company is, but they produce the Neos for Iwata. That same company makes these No Name brushes. And I have both a Neo and a No Name. They're a little different from each other, it seems. And they're definitely different. They're a whole different model and everything. But they both have the same quality of metals and precision and stuff. Just a different style of airbrush. These No Names spray a lot more paint. Typically Badger and No Name sprays more paint more quickly than Iwata does. Iwata is more of a precise tool, which is great for helmets and bikes and stuff. But if you're painting t-shirts, I prefer No Names or Badgers because they just lay down paint more quickly. Need to shake my white paint. Got some new merch on the way I'm excited about. Merch is a weird word. I don't like that word. I've been drawing some graffiti alphabets on Procreate for fun and for practice, and I'm turning them into t-shirt designs. And I'll do like wallpapers or whatever else. I don't know, give me suggestions on what you want to see. There's one pinned to the top of the chat. That's an example of the graffiti alphabet I'm doing. And there's t-shirts and everything else on there, but they haven't hit the YouTube section yet. YouTube takes a couple days before they add the merch that I create to YouTube. But if you go to the Spreadshirt shop, you'll see everything else that's there. There's hoodies and all that. But I'm having fun designing those alphabets, and I'll do other things too. So if you're interested in having a cool shirt, I've got one on the way. I'll be wearing it to show it off. It's there. It's there. That's done, I think. I think that's good. Oh, he wanted a cassette tape. I forgot to do the cassette tape. I'll add it to the bottom. Scott Pope finally caught a live stream actually live. Welcome here. Glad you are here. I'm sorry because I love you. Okay. Don't be sorry. Oh, I don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. Somebody Google Translate me, and I'll answer this man's question. Oh, this is a boombox, not a cassette tape. That's alright, watch this. Do you do art on your shirts as well as words? Not as much. I kind of focus on words. I need to do more art. I need to do more custom work. I need to do more characters and things like that. I like words. That's what I focus on. It's what I want to get better at. So it's what I do mostly. It's also a lot faster for me to just do lettering than to do a bunch of other characters and stuff. I should outline this in a color before I put it over. Alright, I need to paint the back of this hoodie, and I don't want to wait for it to dry. So I'm going to take this other board that's the same size, and I'm going to use it like that. And now I can flip the hood over and the sleeves over without worrying about getting wet paint on them. Pro tip. Now it's time to do the back. We got some different letters. I'm gonna use the same colors as the front, but I'm gonna put them on there differently. And I'm gonna fill up my paint real quick. Have I thought about doing a beginner's course? Yes, I certainly have. The last couple of nights I've been thinking about the structure of how I would go about teaching airbrush from the very beginning. I'm actually got some cool plans in the works. There's a graffiti artist, a graffiti shop machine studio in California, the whole opposite coast. And I'm planning on flying over there sometime in February probably, and I'll teach him how to paint. He's already got a bunch of graffiti experience. I'll teach him how to use an airbrush, and we'll do some graffiti together. He'll show me how to use cans a little better than I know how, and we'll trade some tips back and forth. And I think that'll be a good format, at least for existing graffiti artists to learn how to airbrush. And I'm also gonna do classes on the specifics of how to airbrush, beginner drills and courses and stuff. I'm gonna do the whole thing. All of that is in progress. The website for these shirts is shut down now, so I can't get more orders. I have to catch up on some orders. They came in even though I tried not to take them. So I got to get some of these shirt orders done and out of the way, and then I will be doing a lot more classes and how-to videos and better YouTube content other than just live streams. All that is. I'm very excited to get those things going. MCSB MCSB is the word I'm doing here. There's two, but top one, MCSB. And then fresh with another $S. Hello? What is my age? I'm 28. I'm trying to play cameraman too. Make sure that you guys got a good viewpoint, vantage point here. I love you too. How long have I been doing this for? I've been painting for about 12 years. Graffiti lettering like this, about 2 or 3 years, really. In the airbrush world, we have what we call a graffiti font, but really it's just bubbly letters. They're real simple. In the airbrush world, you're doing work for clients. It's simple work. You're doing $20 t-shirts. You're supposed to get them out quickly. And it always has to be really legible. So even if we called it the graffiti font, most people can't read what this says, I'm finding. Even though it's really simple to me, it's hard to read. So in the airbrush world, our graffiti font is just simple block letters. And I've been doing that for a long time until I realized that I can get a lot more complex with these letters and have a lot more fun with these letters, but they're not something I could sell to the same people that are buying my airbrush shirts. So only in the last couple of years has it become practical for me to try to occasionally sell this sort of artwork instead of simple t-shirts. But I'm enjoying these a lot more. And I'd love to spend, an hour or so on a piece instead of 10 minutes on a piece. What is up, Dale? Hey, Crave. Drop shadow on this? I'll do a quick one. I get bored with all the background effects. I just want to lay out the shape of letters and then move on. What's the camera mount called? This is just a neck mount. It's just sitting there on my neck. It's easy. I got a webcam on the wall. Here, you can see it. Magnetic mounts are your friend. Every camera that I have has magnetic mounts on it. I'm just using my phone here. I've got this phone with a program called Droid Cam, and that's just making it act as a webcam on my computer, and then everything's going through OBS and being streamed to YouTube. I shouldn't have done this drop shadow. Not that it looks bad, but it's just gonna take extra time and doesn't really improve what it looks like. It's just busy. It's too busy. Thanks for answering the Instagram message. You are welcome. I have tried a lot of airbrush bottles. You're talking about these siphon feed bottles. They go on the bottom of the airbrush. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of different price points for them. Iwata's got the big mouth bottles, which are nice, but they're like $5 a bottle, and they're no different than these. These worked out to about 50 cents each, and I put them together myself. I got these caps in bulk from eBay. I bought like 200 of them, and then I bought these bottles just from Uline, any sort of like shipping supply store, and they worked out to be real cheap. Not cheap, inexpensive. They weren't cheap, they're great. When did I start learning? Alright, I learned how to airbrush working for a theme park at King's Dominion in Richmond. It's near Richmond. Richmond's the city everyone knows. I learned there back in high school. I was not good. When I started out, I had no pre-existing airbrush skill. But they taught me how to use this tool, and they started teaching me some basic alphabets and letters. And I took it and ran with it because I loved it. And over the next couple years, I built a business out of it. And here I am 10 years later, finally to the point where I can start teaching others how to do this too, because I think you'll love it too. Airbrushing has been so overlooked from my perspective. I've seen a lot of people with negative impressions. They think old school. They think the cheesy, typical tourist t-shirts, and that's all they think of when they think of an airbrush, and they don't realize what you can actually do with it. It's a miniature spray can. It's a precise little spray can that you can mix custom colors in, and it's really awesome. You just gotta give it a shot. It's got a learning curve to it, just like anything else does. You can't pick up a spray can and go to work either. You've got to learn how to use that thing. Can't find these caps anywhere. You're talking about these caps? You can find caps. I will figure out where to get caps, and I will post a link on my community page. I'll make a post about them. I'm assuming not everybody needs 200 caps, so I'll try to find them in like a pack of a dozen or something. You can go on Amazon right now and you can find some bottles, and they work out to like $1.50, $2 each, and it's not that bad. That's pretty good. The only reason I can get these down to 50 cents is because I bought hundreds. What's my favorite thing to airbrush? Letters are my favorite thing to airbrush. A little more complex than this. These are customer orders, so I have to adhere to what they ordered and make sure they're legible and stuff. I can't go too far off base. But I really like painting my own lettering. Matter of fact, look at the top of this chat. Look at the pinned merch. That alphabet that I did that actually on Procreate, but I do those airbrush too. Those are my favorite thing to do. A whole alphabet of graffiti letters. It takes a long time and it's real tedious, but it's really good practice and it's a lot of fun. And you feel like you accomplished something when you finish it. 26 letters is a lot, especially when you have to put the same amount of detail in all of them. It takes a while. It took probably 4 hours to paint that thing. What's up, Todd? The biggest do's and don'ts in lettering. A lot of that depends on what style of lettering you're doing. And it also depends on your preferences. Really, there's a. For me, I like my letters to be legible. I like my letters to be consistently sized, and I don't mean height, because you'll see my letters, this F is huge compared to the R and the E and everything else. But the width of the letters, this stroke, this one's bigger because it's the first letter, but like all the strokes inside of it everywhere should be pretty consistent. You don't want to have really, really thin lines next to really, really thick lines. Otherwise your brain can't find a normal part of the letter to grasp onto and be like, okay, this is an S because it does this. And there has to be some consistency to it, otherwise your brain can't read it. So consistency is a do, no matter what. I'm moving the shirt away. It's still wet, so I'm trying to be careful. Back. And let's do this little one. This little guy right here. If you're doing script lettering, calligraphy style lettering, you want your letters to be parallel with one another. I do, at least. I'll say I want my letters to be parallel. This one's getting a gold chain. This isn't working. Gold chain design. Little Scribbles is his name. What hose are you using? Is that thing super long? It's like 10 feet probably? Probably 10 feet. Hopefully that works smoothly enough. What's your favorite letter or word to airbrush? I don't know. I spend so much time painting customers' names. I don't really have a particular one. I like shorter names rather than longer ones, like 4 or 5 letters. That's perfect. Scribbles. Scribbles. S is a nice letter to write. I like S's. I like M's a lot. M. I kind of have like a favorite letter of the week, you know? I don't like when my airbrush is clogged up though. Struggle with M. M's aren't that bad. Here's how I do it. Here's how I do it, M. And you can break that up. Probably couldn't see that real well. Alright. Let's get this one done. I gotta thicken these up and then I have to outline them all in black, which will be really fun. And I mean that sarcastically. little frustrating when you don't take the time to clean your airbrush when you should, and instead you just fight with it instead of fixing it, which is what I always do, and it's not a good idea. There it is. I agree with the alphabet thing. I think it is good practice to do a bunch of letters at one time. Spacing is one of those things that is really difficult at first. When you have a bunch of letters, even a couple letters, and you're trying to not just cram them in, but space them out right across the shirt, it can be tricky until you have a good grasp of your own alphabet to get those letters in the right space. That is a fact. Text in black, the design is warm colors like orange and yellow and burnt orange, okay. This is some script text, which is cool. It's a really short one. Yeah, alphabets are a lot of fun. They're my favorite thing, man. Just sketch them. Just do sketchy, quick ones. Unless you play with new styles and ways you'll do letters each time. They don't all have to be thick graffiti letters. They can be just simple hand styles or whatever. OGES. Thank you. Something that I wish someone would have told me when I started airbrushing. Huh, let's think. That more isn't always better. It's not always about how much detail you put into a design, and I think any kind of beginner artist struggles with that. They feel like in order to make this design better or up to par, I need to add more and more detail and effects and things to the lettering. And it's a tool to help distract you if your artwork isn't up to par. But what's more important than extra details in your lettering is that your lettering is foundationally good. I don't know, if your words are smooth, your lettering, your curves are nice and round, and just the simple letters without the background, without the shadow. If the bones of the letters themselves are smooth, that's all you need to have. And you add a little bit of effects and stuff to that. But you can have a really, really good design and poor lettering, and it's going to ruin the whole shirt. Likewise, you can have a pretty poor design and artwork skill and nice lettering, and it's going to be good. Just the quality of your fonts and lettering itself is really the most important part. So the best way to practice airbrushing, at least this style artwork, is to practice your lettering all of the time. I'm having a lot of issue with this yellow paint right now, I'm sorry. I just need to use a little bit of it. I don't want to stop and clean the whole thing. Hello to my Brazilian fellow. And also Fish. I'm afraid to add orange to this, but they specifically asked me to add orange to this. These are the type of shirts that you see at the fair and all of that. Not my style artwork. It's what I do, it's what pays the bills, but this is me. This is me working, fulfilling orders. Thank you, Pat. How you doing, Pat? I'm going to see Pat a couple of weeks. Next week. These will be fun. These are the type of letters that I really like showing. On the front, the word's a little bit long. It's Trap House. That's 9 letters. It'll be fine. It's longer than I want it to be. The longer the word is, the smaller the letters have to be. The airbrush master is in the house. You're talking about Pat Gaines? He is in here. He's definitely got more experience than all of us probably put together. I want to see him paint some graffiti letters though. We've talked about that. Alright, sorry this took so long. Okay. Pink, purple, and blue. That seems to be the colors of the day. I'm going to start with the most neutral color of those. That is the purple. Actually, I'm going to use pink because it's lighter. You told Mickey I'm coming. Yeah, guys, I'm going to Florida next week to meet Pat and talk about some stuff and take a trip to Disney that has been long. Something that my wife has wanted to do. Alright, Trap House. Let me get these letters started. So we were talking about spacing out your letters. The first thing you do is get a simple placement down of all your letters. Now you know how big they all can be, how big they need to be. You can make adjustments here if you needed everything to scoot in a little, scrunch in a little more, or if you had room. This is what this is for. Everything is spaced out. I know how big they're going to be. I can't run out of room now because it's already laid down. And now, the next thing you do is take that simple bones and flesh them out into some letters. I need to move this mic. I keep on avoiding that area of the shirt. Right. Play with your vertical space. If you got way too many letters and you need to fit them in, stagger them. So you got one letter up here and then one down here and up and down, and you can get a lot more room if you kind of work vertically. Don't forget you have that space. Trying to catch up on some comments too. His beach scenes are phenomenal. That's true. What's the most frustrating piece you've ever done? Any kind of portraits, personally to me, have been very frustrating because that's not a skill I've developed. It's not an interest that I've had, so I've never enjoyed painting portraits. And on the occasions that I've had to, it just hasn't been a lot of fun. I'm so particular that it turns out good enough that I end up starting over and spending a whole lot of time and never actually being satisfied with the end result. Kind of frustrating. I've never really been frustrated with simple designs like these. Lettering has never been frustrating to me. That'll work. I need to see that if I back up and look at this, I've got a hole here. These letters come down and these letters don't. So I'm gonna do a little bit of stuff to fix that. The easiest way to fix that is to just add a little effect. I'm gonna add this thing here. And this is just gonna be a big shape. And now everything is even and balanced. From here, I'll do my black outlines. Portraits are a beast to do. You're right, Pat. I don't know if I've seen your portraits, Pat. I'm looking forward to... That looks like an F. I'm gonna fix that. I try to add some flair to the corner and it just turned into a big F. Supposed to be a T. Anytime customers ask for portraits, I've got a couple great artists that I always send them to. I don't even take the order. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. Do you paint any canvases other than white clothing? Do you use different color shirts? I do. White clothing is the easiest to paint because absorbent materials are easier to paint on than hard surfaces. if you're painting on a non-absorbent material, you have to be careful not to use too much air pressure or too much paint, or things will splatter away and you get a lot of runs in your paint and stuff like that. But on an absorbent t-shirt, you can paint as heavily as you want to. You never have to worry about a drip or anything like that. So absorbent materials are nicer, and for airbrushing, white surfaces are best because, again, the airbrush paint isn't completely opaque. If this was a blue shirt that I was laying down pink on, I'm gonna get purple, not pink. So that's why white's easiest. That doesn't mean you can't paint on different colors, but it does mean you have to put down a white base or use opaque paint, which is a lot thicker and harder to use. So I prefer white t-shirts. That doesn't mean that's the only thing I paint on. I like to paint on, lately I've been doing metal license plates, just for fun. And painting on canvases, actual stretched canvases, is pretty cool. A canvas is like the middle ground between something absorbent and a hard surface because it's textured enough that you get a little bit of that it's not really absorbency, but it kind of holds the paint in. But it's still smooth so that you can layer colors of paint on top of each other. I want to paint big. I got this wall is big enough on purpose so that I can paint big 4x8 sheets and do like big graffiti style pieces. That would be cool. Yeah, portraits aren't something that I have any real interest in learning. It bothers me that I don't know how to do them well. It bothers me that I struggle with them. And I want to learn them just because I don't like the fact that I can't do them well. But that might be my pride kicking in. But I don't have any desire to like paint portraits. I'm gonna use some texture effects in this one. I'm gonna use the clothespin and do some splatter. See if I can get you guys up close to this. I'm just spraying paint down the end of this clothespin and letting the air pressure splatter it off. And you get those little splatters. It's neat. I'm gonna do some big ones by backing away from the shirt and increasing the angle. It means more paint builds up before it splatters off. And yeah, lo-fi is what I listen to anytime I'm chilling. I got my future bass playlist too, but that's not really like background live stream music. Okay. I love seeing the conversation going in the chat, guys. It's really awesome to not be the only one talking, you know what I mean? purple on the top and then white highlights. I left a little bit of room between the blue and the black outline so that this white really stands out. Finally got some omnis. They're better than I remember. Omnis are my favorite. Pat would disagree with me, but that's okay. I will say that this no-name airbrush, I keep bringing it up because it's kind of new. Pat, if you're still in here, have you heard of these no-name airbrushes? Let me turn it this way. They're great. They act just like the Omnis. They're kind of newish. I just like them. I like them a lot. Oof. Thank you. I'm glad the music is good. I hope the volume level of everything is good for everybody else. I tested it all here and I like it, but some people might hate the music. I don't know. I can't please everybody. Feedback is always welcome. This sound reminds me of the dentist. I don't have any fond memories of the dentist. No, I've used Badgers forever. You have? I just went to Iwata's because Steve. Okay. I've got no problem with Iwata. I don't want to talk bad about them. I just haven't had luck with Iwata airbrushes. I've always had issues with them, and they're a great airbrush. Everyone loves them, and they're a super high quality brand, and they're known as like the most professional brand. But personally, I just haven't had much luck with them. Seems like I'm always cleaning them, or I never have to clean these. Who's calling me? I can't answer that right now. It's 2021. You don't just call people on the phone. Am I the only one that thinks phone calls are rude? Pat knows I hate talking on the phone. Alright, let's move on here. Got more to get to. I don't want to spend forever on the same shirt. See, someone understands me. My friend called me, I didn't pick it up. Yeah, calls are mean. Calls are... It's like a text message with no warning that you have to answer right now! Daggone millennials, we're spoiled. I use a hairdryer for the white. I do that sometimes. I have a good trick for white, for getting nice crisp lines with your white, and that is to put your white down while the base color is still completely wet. Maybe I'll find a way to incorporate that on this one to show you. If the base layer is still wet, then the white paint with enough pressure will actually push that base layer of color through the shirt and then leave you with a nice crisp white outline. Let's do that here. This is a different lettering style. Scratch lettering. I don't do a lot of this. DAXS. This will be fun. So I'm gonna start with a basic tag style lettering, and then come back and add a couple strokes. Not just randomly and chaotically like I see a lot of people doing, but I'm planning where these strokes will go that will add to the composition but not distract from legibility of the letters. And then I'm going to do some tighter ones at the end there, kind of like a drop shadow of a crisper line. That'll work. All right. It's blue or purple? I need to fill this up real quick. Precise measurements. Always. Made a mistake. Rookie move. That's what I get for back flushing a full bottle of paint. Alright, is that real brick? No, it's sheets of fake brick from Lowe's. Sure no paint is on me. Alright, I'm gonna do an outline around the whole thing, and then I'm gonna fill it in with color, and I'm gonna do that white technique like I was talking while the blue paint is still wet. And I also forgot to do this thing. Crave, I would agree. That would be a sweet Zoom call. I'd be down for that. I'm just honored to be in that list, honestly. Don't do that to me, man. I'm not trying to have problems. Troubleshooting. Pat, you're retired anyway. Not retired. On sabbatical till after COVID. That makes sense. I'm just lucky I set up this online thing and COVID hit and I didn't have to change anything because I'm just working from home. I know 2020 was a rough year for a lot of people, and it was a rough year for me in a lot of ways, but 2020 treated me well. It established this YouTube thing. I got a lot of good breaks with some of my videos and content. I got contacted by a lot of cool people with a lot of cool opportunities, and I felt like I couldn't celebrate any of those victories because everyone else is frustrated, or was frustrated with the year. Truth is, I had a pretty good year, and a lot of good things happened. I hope everybody else had stories too that they just haven't shared. What is the next thing? I guess the back of this is the next thing. Roadrunner 72. I need my shirt flipper overboard. Oh man, Jamie Rodriguez. Jamie Rodriguez taught me how to do single line script. That was a good dude. Like 30 million views. Yeah, Jamie Rodriguez is what got me started too. He's how I learned all these. I don't realize that you could do single stroke script with thick and thin lines at the same time until I saw him do it, and I was like, okay, that's what I need to learn how to do. Roadrunner 72. What do you do with your siblings? You guys are weird. You guys are talking about weird stuff. That's fine. Do your thing. I see a lot of people that can put a lot of style into their letters, and then they go to do like an outline around the letters and forget all of the rules that they learned about lettering. That was a super chat for $5. Thank you, Pat. That's what's up. What I was saying is that the stroke style that you put into your lettering needs to also happen in your background elements. Like here, I'm following the same path of the line of this R with the stroke around the R. If you don't do that, then you get like, you hide all the style that you added to the lettering. The same rules apply. You guys crack me up. I haven't done a lot of script lettering recently. Oh, thank you. I was just offered a delicious homemade peanut butter and jelly by my wife. That's some service there. I'm banned giving damn money. You're not banned. You're allowed to. I'll unban you. Alright, that's done. Let's move this over here. Stay. Let's grab. What's this? I'm gonna do a one. Some graffiti text on a one. It's gonna be neat. You never had a peanut butter and jelly? You never had a peanut butter and jelly? Alright, where's my lines? Oh. Red and black with hearts. Cool. Big Nolly. Big N-A-L-I. Get this camera in a good spot. That'll work. This will be a neat one. What are your thoughts and experiences with graffiti? If you're talking about like, all right, that sparks a different conversation for me. I'll get to your question. I gotta get some context down. I've gotten a lot of, and I hit on this earlier, a lot of negative comments from, I guess, real life graffiti artists lately, saying that what I'm doing isn't graffiti. And I understand what they mean by that, because graffiti technically is like illegal artwork on people's property, and I don't do that. And I've been calling this, and I've been using the keyword graffiti in my titles and everything else. The thing is, I don't have any other word to use for what I'm doing. What else would you call this style of lettering? So I call it graffiti lettering, and if what you mean by graffiti is this lettering, that's one answer. And if you want what I mean, I've never bombed a train. I've never done illegal vandalism on things. I kind of want to, because it would be a lot of fun, but I'm not going to do that. I understand why people do it, and I don't think it's a good thing to do, generally speaking. There's place and time for it. I get it, but it really depends on your definition and what you are doing with your graffiti. But if you keep the question simple and say, what do I think about graffiti lettering? This style of lettering is my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite art form to go to. It's what I draw in my free time. It's what I'm learning and getting better at. Street art, my friend, street art. I get that, but it's not street art because it's not on the street. It's actually the lettering. Like this isn't street art any more than it's like tacos. It's not on the street. If you have a black book that you do sketches in, is your black book filled with graffiti art? Or is it filled with letters? And how do you distinguish the word letters from other letters? You say the style is a graffiti style. That's what this is. So, that's my stance on that. This spring, when it starts getting warm outside, because I hate the cold, I'm going to start using a lot of spray cans in my backyard. Learning how to use spray cans and do real life graffiti is something that I've always, in the last couple of years, wanted to do. I don't have nearly as much experience with spray cans as I do with the airbrush. And there's a lot of muscle memory I need to develop with spray cans. that I have with the airbrush, and I can do it. I can be real precise with this thing, but when it comes to a big spray can, it's a whole different tool. You have to work a lot bigger than I'm used to. So I've got some things I need to learn there, but I'm really looking forward to it. I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I watched Smo Nova's video that he just released like 20 minutes before the stream. And man, it made me want to start using spray cans. The lines look so satisfying, and that's from someone who draws satisfying lines all day. Gotta go, my friend texted me and not called. That's a good friend. They at least have to be like a text saying, hey, can I call you? And then that's different. It's really hard to paint this low. I'm doing like a squat. Did I miss any shadows? I'm gonna throw in here. Get some nice spray cans, some actual brands, and experiment. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Montana cans, and I've got some Cobra cans. I got hooked up with a bunch of caps by a fellow of mine. I have all the equipment, I just need to go outside and use them. I need to build like a wall. Smo's got his garden wall. I'm gonna build me a garden wall in the backyard so I can paint in my yard. Once it gets warm, I'm not about being out there in the cold. Although today's about 55 degrees. I could go outside today. I'm gonna fill these in solid. They want hearts on this design. Hearts are just upside down, but quote from Dale. Doak did a wall on his studio. I'm gonna do these walls. These walls are not gonna stay plain brick. They're gonna be all kind of graffiti pieced up. But I have to bring them outside. I tried painting in here a little bit with spray cans and it was way too big of a mess. So I'm gonna have to take these off of the wall and then like remount them outside to paint and then bring them back in. This breaks my rules. This right here. You can see that this stroke, which should be one stroke, is tiny here and it's big here, meaning like it's not the same thickness, not the same width. These lines should either connect like this so that it's a triangle shape, or it should have been the same thickness here and there. Or I could have done something like that and then came down. Basically, it looks okay, you're not going to realize it, but that broke my rules and I don't like it. It was an accident. An oversight, if you will. Oh no, my phone died. My phone died, guys. Luckily nowadays though, OBS comes through, makes me, what do I say? I don't know why it died. I guess I'm just overworking it. I guess I'm gonna go since that happened. Let me read some comments for a second first. Where's Dale Jr.? He's inside. He probably just woke up from his nap. He's probably eating that other peanut butter and jelly sandwich right now, to be honest with you. Yeah, sorry guys, my camera died. My phone died. You learn something every day. But I think we had a good time today. We painted a lot of stuff. It's there. It's what it is. I can show you around the room a little bit. This was the piece of the day. This is the fun one of the day. It was cool. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the chat, the engaging chat, not just like me talking the whole time chat, but you guys were there too. I really appreciated that. I'll see you guys next time, I guess. I'll probably be back tomorrow. If not tonight, I don't know if I'll be back tonight. Sometimes I get a crazy wild hair and I start painting through the middle of the night. And if that's the case, I might turn this back on and see you later. Either way, let me add this into end mode. And I'll see you guys soon at some point. Thanks for hanging out. Love you, bye.